Ah, welcome back to the channel, everybody. We're trout fishing again, but this time we're doing it in a far more traditional style. We are trout fishing on the fly. Now I have to confess, I am by no means a trout expert, but I can cast a line and I can get it out there. The plan is to try and catch them on buzzers, which is a great way of catching trout, and I'll explain that later on. If they're not having it on those, we'll have to pull back lures, which is a bit more but hey ho. Let's talk about buzzers. So this is the idiot's guide. People who are far more knowledgeable than me will say, Andy, you've got this completely wrong. What we're doing, we're imitating the fly life with the buzzers. So buzzers are larvae that are hatching. They are floating to the surface, where they get to the surface film and they then hatch into flies. So what we're trying to do as trout anglers is imitate these buzzers as they are literally making their way to the surface, and that's where the trout intercept them. And when you get a big buzzer hatch, trout get really on these type of food source. On the buzzer. First trout of the day. Really solid take on the buzzer. Cool. Really nice fight on this light rod. Let me get round the anchor. Taking the top dropper. Cool. It's not that big, but fighting really well. That's really tangled me as well. Nice. Perfect. There we go. Next cast. Lovely take. That was a real hard take. bigger fish, but stockified, not fighting so hard. Oh dear, it's only a 6-weight rod. There we go. No, we don't. This one's woken up. Oh, that's a nice fish. I've had to change. Put old lure on. There we go. Right, so I've had to revert to using the gold head. There's not much fly life coming off, hence the buzzers aren't working, so having to chuck this monstrosity. There we go. That's number 3 on the monstrosity. It's a shame there's not much fly life. But I'm getting lots of interest on this little white goldhead lure. And most casts I get a tap, so they have to change. So I'm going to have to keep this on for a little bit longer. But I think what we'll do is we'll get 1 or 2 more fish from down here and then perhaps going for lunch and try something completely different this afternoon. Go to a different spot on the resi. Cool. There we go. Long old landing net. Oh, in the boat. Look at that, another beautiful rainbow. Hear a cuckoo in the background. That means spring's here. So what I'm doing with this white lure is I'm just chucking it out, leaving for about 15 seconds and then just twiddling it back. Nothing that cast. Let it sink for that count of 15, 13, 14, 15 and just figure of 8 it back. That wind is all over the place in here. Hence why I'm now standing up, it's making the casting very difficult. Pulled the line out of my hands. I was just beginning to wonder if I got that one wrong. There we go, third time lucky. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I'm just doing a figure of 8 on my hand. Keep my hands there so you can see it. Third time lucky, hopefully. Pulled the line out my fingers again. I've come off for lunch and I'm going to have myself a quick sandwich. Also, I'm going to have a cup of coffee. So I'm going to show you something pretty cool that if you watched the recent cut video, you saw my friend Adele and she put me onto this. And this is a really cool way of making coffee when you're on the go. This is pretty nifty. Put your coffee in there. Just fill this with water. Give it a stir. I'm getting surrounded by grockles, but it doesn't matter. And then just push the plunger down, and you just do a steady pressure and push the water through the coffee. Perfect. You get like 2/3 of a cup, and all I'm going to do top it up with water, and that thing is beautiful. It's called Aero Express. No, it's not. It's called an AeroPress. Aero Express. And the cool thing is you just get a little plug of coffee there that you can push into your rubbish bag and take home with you. So that is perfect. We're back on the water. Had 6 trout this morning, 4 on the lures and 2 on the buzzers. I'm going to try somewhere completely different on the resi. So hopefully I can get a few pulls and a few more fish in completely different places, and hopefully get them back on the buzzer, because that's a lovely way of fishing. It's a lot slower and you're not constantly casting your arm off. So let's see what happens this afternoon. Came into this little bay just to get out of the wind, just to talk to the camera. Thought I'd have a cast, and as you've seen, caught my finger on this boat seat. It is not stopping bleeding, so I'm just applying a lot of pressure with this rag and hoping it's going to stop at some point. Unbelievable. Okay, so I've decided that discretion is a better part of valour with this one, really. My thumb's not very good at all. I'm still getting blood everywhere, so I thought, let's just pack up and call it a day. I've had a really good day. I've ended up with my limit, and which was surprising considering I tried to chop my thumb off. So what I'm going to do is take these home, and I'm now going to show you another way in which I do a clean and cook with the trout. So I've cleaned the trout by removing its guts, and I've removed the bloodline from down here. So I'm just rinsing it one more time under the cold water tap. So that is now nice and clean. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put that in cling film. So very simply going to wrap this in foil. You could put all sorts of wonderful creations into its belly cavity, but I'm going to be really lazy. I'm just going to bake it as it is. So I've got my oven set to about 180 degrees. I'm just going to put this in foil on a baking tray and then leave it for about 30 to 40 minutes. Here we have it. That's beautiful. Look, you know when it's cooked because it just comes off the bone like so. So just going to take, ooh, getting hungry, some of that off, put it on a plate, and you can literally just take the flesh straight off the bone. So I've left this in for a bit longer, probably 45 minutes, and it is perfect. Just be careful of these bits down here. Get the bones out of those in a minute. But yeah, look at that. Comes off beautiful. And I'll just put that on a plate to have in about 5 minutes time. Lovely.